Hi everybody. I am here to talk foundation and thank you for coming to this. I'm just gonna wait till people get on, about 2 minutes. This is one of my favorite subjects to talk about because, I mean, some people are mascara people, some people are lips people, some people are foundation. I'm a foundation person. Hello. So if you're on, tell me where you're from and maybe how long you've been with Younique. Hello, hello, hello. Hey. I just asked everybody if they could tell me where they're from and how long they've been with Younique so I can see where I'm coming from. Texas. We have lots of Texas girls. Just since April, Cindy? Good. Wisconsin. I'm originally an, hey Nancy, I'm a Michigan girl. I was born and raised in Michigan in Sterling Heights. Got some Canada, more Texas. Hey Helen. Some of my team's coming on too. Kathy. April, Ontario, Canada. Half a year. Happy anniversary, Carrie. Last week? Susan? Wow. Another April, 1.5 years. Okay, I'm just gonna give it like 30 seconds more or something just to wait. And if you just came on, tell me where you're watching from. And I just want to say I'm sorry that this is late. I wanted to make sure I could get my son in bed. And honestly, I know a lot of people are doing lives and parties, and so I wanted to do it after that. Hi, Stephanie. California. So I guess for California, I'm not running too late. I'm in Atlanta, so it's 10 here. Okay, just a couple of seconds more. Hi, Lauren. A month ago. Lots of Canada people. Alberta, Canada. You just finished your live, Carrie. That's why I did it late. Honestly, I know so many people are doing lives and have their parties. And honestly, when I saw Christy, if you did not see it yet, Christy Allen Grubbs did a live training with the BB and the mineral concealer just earlier at 8 o'clock. So I thought that this would be perfect because, you know, if you did watch that, then you'd have a little bit of time, check in on your parties, stuff like that. So Lindsay, what's her name? Lindsay? What's her name? I'm not sure. I don't think that that's for me. Okay, so if you can hear me, send me some hearts. Make sure everybody can hear really good. So we got a lot of people from Canada, a lot of people from Texas. Everybody can hear me? Yay! Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and get started because I know this is late and I don't want it to be too late. So people, because I know some people have to get up early and work in the morning if you're on the East Coast. I'm coming from Atlanta, so yes, it is 10:05 here. So my name is April Swayze. I am exclusive Purple Status presenter. I started in Younique in August of 2014. And have been doing it ever since. Love this company, love what I'm doing. And as I said a little bit earlier, some people are foundation people, some people are mascara people, some people are lips. My thing is foundation, and matching people with our foundation is amazing. Now, when I started, we basically had the BB Flawless and we had the compacts of pressed powder and cream. And the cream was a little bit too much for me. And but I love the pressed powder, and it gave it so much coverage. The BB cream though, for me, I have oily skin. It just absorbs into my skin, kind of doesn't give me what I need. I like pure porcelain skin. I wear organza foundation. So when we came out with the liquid foundation last September, I was so happy because this color fits me exactly. And the funny thing about it is, I never knew I had pink undertones until I started using this. For my whole life, I was wearing yellow undertoned makeup because I thought, hey, I'm Italian, I have olivey skin. That's what says on my birth certificate. So I'm a warm. So I started wearing velour. Let me tell you, the difference from going from wearing velour to getting the right tone, because I have pink undertones in organza, was amazing. It changed everything. It made me love this foundation. So when you sign up, you get a little, you know, shade thing, and you get one of these now. And honestly, this to me doesn't work very well. I mean, one thing, you're not next to the people most of the time. You're talking over the internet, and it's hard to match people like that. So I've had to come up with a way to match foundation and make sure it matched. So the first thing I always do, there's a couple things you want to base it on. You want to base it on hair color, eye color, and undertones. And undertones, I think, are the biggest key to matching foundation on the internet. Why? Because when you get the right foundation, it'll accentuate all your natural features and bring out the little glow, and so that's great. So usually the first thing I do when I ask people about what kind of foundation they want, I ask them what kind of coverage they want. I ask them if they want light, medium, or full coverage, because that'll steer me in what direction to go. I also ask them if they have what type of skin, oily, dry, combination, a little bit of both, because with our foundation, there are so many different, mixtures. I mean, Christy just showed one of the BB and the mineral concealer. I know a lot of people love the BB and mix it with our liquid concealer. I tried this with the mineral today, and for me, it was great. I just liked a little bit more coverage, so I put some pressed powder on top of it. So what I use is this and a pressed powder on top, and that gives me everything that I want. So, okay, so there's a couple questions that you ask these people. Once you got what kind of coverage they need and what type of skin they have, these are a set of questions that I swear will get you the right answer almost every single time. When I talk to somebody about foundation, half of the time I don't even look at a picture of them before I ask these questions, because I think it might skew my judgment. So first of all, question I ask is about their veins. And it's funny when I walk up to people or I'm seeing people in person and I say, let me see your hand. And they go like this. And I'm like, no, let me look at your veins. So you look at the veins, because this skin is some of the thinnest skin, so you can see what color the veins are. If you can't see a distinct color of veins, they're probably neutral undertone. If you can see that they're like really blue or purple, then they're on the cool side. If you see that they have any green, they are probably warm. Does anybody do that? Does anybody use this method? Because there's a couple other things I do besides this, because this isn't always guaranteed. The other thing I do is I ask them what kind of jewelry they like. Do they gravitate to silver jewelry, or they gravitate to gold, or do they wear both? I can wear silver, but I also love rose gold too, so it's a little bit funky with that. But if you get somebody with silver, if they wear 99% silver, they're going to be on the cool side probably. If you get thank you. If you get somebody who only wears gold jewelry, they're probably going to be on the warm side. So next question, sun. Now I don't do sun, but so I ask people what kind of things, what does your skin do in the sun? Do you burn really easily? Do you tan or burn and then turn to tan, or do you just tan? Questions like that. If they're tanning without any sort of burn, they probably have warm undertones. If they burn pretty easy, they probably have cool pink undertones. Next is another thing that I have them do, that if they're not sure about the veins and they're not sure about any of this, I tell them to take a sheet of white paper or a stark white piece of clothing and an ivory piece of clothing and put them up and see which one looks better. Something that's straight, pure white is going to be your cooler tones, and something that is more of an ivory, look better in ivory, is going to be somebody who wears more warm. Another thing is, okay, ask them to imagine they are wearing a yellowy orange shirt. What do they look like? Do they like that, or is that not one of their colors? If they say, show me the blue, then they're definitely a cool. If they wear the jewel tones like that, they're probably a cool. Purple, blue, greens, the oranges, yellows, that's going to be warm. Red, I can wear red, but it has to be a blue-based red. So just a quick question, how many people are cool tone foundation? Are cool undertones? Because I seriously think that that is the key. The undertones is the key to finding the right color. Now, I'm going to be talking mostly about our liquid foundation, okay, and color matching this. And, well, liquid foundation and the pressed powders and things like that. So if you ask somebody and you can get what undertones they are, then kind of all you need to do is say, okay, are you light, medium, or dark? And this is when I'll go ahead and look at a picture of them. Now, when I look at a picture, I want to see something preferably in natural light, with no makeup on, with their hair pulled back during the day. I got the wrong foundation for my skin. You know what? I wore the wrong foundation for 40 years. I was 43 when I figured out the right color foundation. So that, it was so, it was amazing. I was so happy. It was a night and day difference. Like I said, I was wearing velour. So here's the thing, guys. If you have somebody and you're color matching them and they are neutral, they can probably wear a cool or a warm, but it's not their perfect thing. But they can wear it. If they are a pink, don't try to put them in the warm. The powder worked amazing. The powder works amazing. Powders are more forgiving than the liquids. So if you have somebody who's a cool undertone and you put them in a warm undertone, it's not going to be a pretty sight. Okay? And same goes with the reverse. So sometimes when I hear, what color do I wear? Organza. Yeah. 100% perfect. I even asked the people at convention when they announced it. They said, you are 100% perfect match organza. And I'm so happy about it because it's kind of my thing. So, neutrals can be put into either category, but they can be neutral. They're the best. Those are the best people, but the hardest to absolutely color match. I do use the same powder and liquid. I use organza. I will use a little bit of scarlet underneath my eyes because it's a little bit lighter if I want to highlight. So the key now, thanks. You have ordered the velour. Are you yellow undertoned and warm undertones? It'll be perfect. That's the thing, guys, is when you get the right undertones, it is perfect. So here's the thing. If you can write down, if you're doing color matching, maybe somewhere where you're talking to people in the notes of your phone, if you're working on your phone or at your desk like I am right now, if you can make a list and just have it in front of you of like this, cools, neutrals, and warms. And then too light for winter. I find the powder is a shade lighter than the liquid. Yeah, I do see that sometimes it's lighter, but I have pretty light skin. So, like I said, if you can match and make a list, so if they say, okay, I don't burn and I'm probably a medium tone and I can really wear anything. I can wear, gold jewelry, silver jewelry, it doesn't matter. My first #1 guess is going to be cashmere. neutral. If she says medium, cashmere or taffeta, depending on what side of the medium she decides she is. If somebody says that they wear oranges and they never burn and they love gold jewelry, then I'm gonna go into velvet or suede, satin or velour, okay? I have had so much good success with this method. Yeah, I can hold it up. I can make one and put it. I mean, I will definitely... I have bad handwriting, y'all. I have chicken scratch handwriting, so I will definitely make something and I'll put a copy. But like I said, I've been doing this for a while, and foundation is my thing that I kind of know it by heart. I just didn't know the newer darker shades that we have, what undertones that they have, but now I do. So let's see. Is my pattern perfect? I got an orange foundation like velvet, I think. Okay. So, okay. So then here's the thing. So if you get somebody, and let's say that they are neutral, okay? They have neutral color and they wear taffeta, but the taffeta just seems a little bit light. Okay, so maybe get them a darker powder. That's gonna be more forgiving. Sometimes I also put, don't forget about these, and people are mentioning them, and I'm so glad, but the new mineral, not new, the mineral concealers, I love those. I use Fresh all the time. I'm looking for mine right now. I thought I had it right here, but I guess I don't. Oh, here it is. Guess which color it is? What color do I use? Let's see if you can figure it out. I use Fresh all the time, but I match up other colors. This is the one I will match with my BB. And I use Bisque if I do a BB cream, and I found that color worked good today. Now when you're doing the BB though, that you can customize so much more. I know you don't have as many choices of colors, but you can mix the different mineral foundations with that, okay? Fabulous, okay. Frisky, okay. Good guess, Kathy. I also did a live with this today, so I kind of told people, and it's weird because when I saw this, you have one in the tube and the tendency to get in the line. You have the, this kind, hold on, this, okay, concealer, that kind of, okay, we'll talk about that in a second. Frisky's the one that I use because it's pink undertones. And you know what, I looked at it one time and I was like, oh my God, this looks like blush. No, it doesn't. I swear, to me it's good. And it looked great on my skin. And like I said, as much as Fresh looks yellow, it does not appear yellow. Do I put it on before or after? Okay, depending on what I'm doing, to be honest. I don't think that there's a hard and fast rule with this. Some people do different things. I usually put it on after my foundation. And the reason I do that is because I use a lighter, I use Scarlet for my liquid concealer, like this, and I put it on afterwards and blend it with one of our blending buds, which I had here a second ago, right here, and I'll tap that and blend that in. And the reason why is because I'm using it more as a highlighter. I am fortunate I don't have very big dark circles under my eyes, so even at 45, I don't need it to conceal as much as I want it to just bring my face up and highlight. So I will take the concealer and I'll put it on my eyes, tap it out, definitely use damp, always, 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 and tap that out, and always set it with a powder. Now this is a place where you want to use your like translucent or your Fresh powder. I have this brush, I love this brush. And I'll just go like this and I'll just tap the powder on, because obviously I don't have mascara on, so it's okay, and I'll just tap it on. But you always want to set your concealer with powder. If someone has light skin but has red undertones, what color liquid foundation would you recommend? Red undertones or pink? If they have pink undertones, organza. Now, I hope that answers that, Cassie. By the way, did you guys see on the other video that Kelly did about using the Victorious underneath in your eye instead of the white eyeliner? Oh my God. Game changer. Love it. So, what other questions do you have? Okay, yes, pink. Yes. So, that's the thing. It's not terrible. I could probably wear a neutral. I've worn scarlet. It's a little light, but more than anything, it just kind of washes out. It doesn't accentuate the natural tones of my skin. Oh, you didn't see that? Okay, so you take the Victorious and you tap it right here instead of the white eyeliner. Look, you can see it. It's amazing. Love it. It's not as stark as the white, but it gives you that, you know, that opened eye look that you're awake. So play with it. If somebody is not the exact color that you have, chances are you can fix it with a powder inside on the waterline right there. Here, what did I use? I used one of the brushes. You just take the Victorious and you tap it on your waterline. And you know what? It stays. You know, I don't want to get too off the subject of what I'm talking about, but it stays there better than like putting the white liner there. I love it. So the key thing though, guys, here is you really want to be careful about answering certain questions about what type of skin they have, because if they have dry skin, especially with winter coming, do not recommend the Touch Liquid Foundation. It has alcohol in it. It can dry their skin even more. I have oily skin, but since it's winter, I've been using like the hydrating moisturizer, and that's helped balance it a lot, because this is my favorite. This is my liquid gold too. But the pressed powders are awesome. Cream was a little heavy for me, even though the cream, it's funny, when I hear cream, I think spackle, but it's not. So I think the cream was a little bit heavier than what I wanted. The liquid foundation is exactly nice and light for me. So what other questions? Like I said, this is my thing. I really am very passionate about it. The other thing, I mean, if you have somebody, that's why I don't understand, like sometimes people will go and they'll be wearing like organza like this, and they'll say, oh, it's a little light, let me get velour. To me, that doesn't work, because you're going from two totally different tones of foundation, and I really feel like the undertones is the key. You can do organza and taffeta. Organza is a smidge light. Taffeta is a little orangey. My skin tone is a little complicated. But see, okay, Kara, that's when you start doing the powders. Okay, so when you're testing foundations, if you happen to be in with them in person and you are able to actually test on their skin or send them a sample, where do you test? Okay, you don't test on the front of their hand. You don't test like inside like a store. You test along the jawline, like right here, because you want to balance it, because you don't want white face, dark chest. That's just as scary as having that dark line, you know? Ugh. Too blotchy and makes your skin look horrible. Your foundation seems to be blotchy. When I see things about blotchy skin, the number one thing I think is the texture of your skin that's making it blotchy. So I would address mix for her face earlier. Any reason? Yeah, that's okay. You saw Brie. Let me go back to that. The blotchy. I think that has to do with the texture of your skin. So the first thing I would do is, are you feeling dry? Because that's the first thing I would think it is. Is your skin's dry? It's getting a little scaly, not to say anything terrible like that, but I would throw on some beauty serum. That's another thing. If you do wear our liquid foundation right now, and now that it's winter, to keep maybe your skin a little bit hydrated and not drying out so much, take a drop of Uplift and mix it in. It works great because the Uplift just kind of absorbs everywhere. What if the powder is... Could you fix that with a darker look? I don't like to do that, Cassie. Going back to the other one about Brie. mixing the BB with the mineral concealer was doing, it's called a BB brew. And one reason for doing that is to get a little bit fuller, more full coverage, because our lightest coverage is with the BB Flawless, okay? So if you want a little bit more coverage, adding that mineral concealer will also give you that coverage, and it will be better for people like me who have oilier skin, because if I just put the BB cream on by itself, it just absorbs right into my skin and goes right away. It seems to go in lines and pores. Okay, going back to about fix it with darker foundation. I don't like to do that. I would rather have, this is my preference. I tend, if anything, to go on the light side. Some people, you know, tend to put people on the dark, and I usually tend to go a little light. So I do a lighter foundation, and then I'll put a darker powder. But if I'm doing a darker powder, I normally will do our loose powder over our pressed powder, because the pressed powder is like just, it's set. The loose powder will, you know, it'll, how do I say it? It will mix more, and it will be not as like putting a direct layer. I don't know if that makes sense. To divine and look at one. Really? About switching your moisturizer and stuff? Because like I said, oily skin. I was using the refining moisturizer, the one that's for oily skin, and I found it was drying out my skin. I didn't like it. So I've been using the hydrating, actually, because I really, really want SPF. Okay, that's really important to me. Moisturizer and primer. Primer is the bomb. Okay, here's another thing, guys. All right. For people who are a little bit older and possibly have larger pores, oilier skin. So I get large pores right here, okay? So sometimes what I'll do is I'll use a mattifying primer along, I love Glorious, don't get me wrong, I love it. But sometimes I'll use a pore purifying, or what do I call it? I get it from Smashbox, just right here to fill in my like big pores. But that's drying out my face too much. So don't do that too much right now, because the weather's getting too cool. Break down mineral concealers for matching. Okay, mineral concealers. Mineral concealers are going to be very forgiving. Fresh is gonna just be your lightest. Anybody can wear Fresh. It can go on almost translucent. It's not going to be, you don't think our foundation likes SPF? Maybe. I don't know. Like I said, I've been doing both. So if you use Fresh, now if you're medium toned, you would use Fabulous or Frivolous, right? Fabulous or Frivolous. Those are neutral toned, I believe. And Frivolous, I think, is a little bit more yellow than Fabulous. Frisky is your lighter pink undertone foundation. And don't be afraid. I mean, when you see it here, yeah, it looks really pink, okay? Really, really pink. But this is what I've been using, and it works great. And I'll just, let's see, put a little bit in. Probably putting it on blush, but it doesn't look any pinker, does it? I don't think so. You can use your eye primer in that T-zone area. Huh, that's a good suggestion. I'll try that. But I noticed it was drying, the mattifying was drying out my thing. Also, okay, so going back to this, I get ADD, guys, all over. So, your mineral concealers. So to me, Frisky's your pink undertone. Fierce is great. I used to contour with Fierce. Before we had the sculpting palettes and everything else like that, I used Fierce to do contouring, and it worked like a charm. Foxy is going to be more medium pink. It has the pink undertones. The stuff that's on the top row right here is going to be more neutral yellow. If you look at these two, they definitely look more pink. Fierce is a neutral, because I know I can wear it. What is the best concealer for really dark circles and tan skin? Okay, really dark circles, like tan skin. How tan? Like what color foundation normally? I have seen different things. The thing about using something to conceal, our concealer and our highlighter, I mean, our concealer, what are you doing with it? Are you concealing or are you highlighting? If you're trying to conceal something, you're probably going to want almost the same Chassimifid. Cashmere. Okay. That was kind of funny. Cashmere. Okay. Cashmere is neutral. Yes. So I would probably go lighter a little bit if they had dark circles. Chiffon I have found really will nicely cover the dark circles without making it white underneath. Because I always think that looks kind of funny, you know, if you have really white. I mean, I know I push it with having light, but I've seen people do it a lot worse. So with Cashmere, I would probably try Chiffon or Taffeta. But there's there's about covering the dark circles. That has a lot to do with what color circles they are. You get people who have greenish under your eyes, and you get people who have like the dark navy, I mean like dark blue or purple. That gets into color correction. I'm not the best at that. I kind of trial and error, but I do follow the rule that if you are trying to conceal something, you want to use absolutely the same color foundation as the foundation. But if you're highlighting, you might go a shade lighter. Lots of women I know have dark bluish circles. Okay, so dark bluish circles. A lot of people say to put yellow underneath, but I think that's more for like the red underneath. I think if they have dark blue, you want to counteract it with a pink undertone, so I would go with Chiffon. That would be my first choice. I hope that helps. I hope so. Let's see what else. Now, the BB, that's another, okay, going back to the BB about color matching BB. Okay, so you guys got one of this. This kind of corresponds. So if you're Scarlet, it doesn't go the right way. But if you're Scarlet or Organza, you're probably going to be either cream or bisque. Okay? The BB absorbs and is so much thinner, I mean, and gives you light coverage, that it's definitely more forgiving. I don't match as exact with the BB because honestly, I think it mixes into the skin pretty well. If you can get close, it's pretty good. Is mineral concealer better for under the eyes? Let's see, better for under the eyes than the fresh. The mineral concealer, are you talking about like this? I think it depends on the person and the age and if they have lines under their eyes. Personally, I like this under my eyes. Just putting fresh didn't do enough, but if I do something like baking, which, you know, is putting the concealer and then putting the powder on, then I will use the fresh. I use the fresh for lots of different things. Okay, so yeah, I like this better for me. I think it will go in the cracks, but not to the point where it's cakey. I mean, you tell me. I don't think it looks very cakey. Our BB is simple. It's just light, medium, dark, since there's only 3. No, there's more than 3 colors. There's 5. There's cream, bisque, honey, caramel, carob, and chestnut. How do you keep it from settling in the lines? Okay, settling in the lines, that has to do with blending, I believe. I think that also has to do with primer. New. Oops, I mean new. No cake? New cake. Okay, I'm sorry if I didn't keep up. I'm not sure exactly what you meant by that. When I use this, that's another thing. I don't use my fingers on my face, okay? I will use this and a brush, or I will use this in our blending bud, and I will, when I use the blending buds, where did my blending bud go? I think I just dropped it on the floor. No, here it is. Okay, when I use these, you want to push it into your face. Crappy skin on the concealer. I'm older lady. I'm 45. So with the concealer, I take it and I kind of push. I don't have that many wrinkles yet. So, oh, you're new. It's okay. I've been here for 2 years, so that's why I know. So, okay, Amy. So dampen this, and when you have it, let it sit there for a second and then kind of push it in. Okay, and then usually I'll take the Fresh and I'll just dust it like that, and it will kind of fill it in, especially if you use primer. I've had it. You do, and 62. You do what? You guys are so great. You're 53. You know, I have to say, guys, it's nice to see some of the above 30 crowd, because I always feel like the old lady. You wear organza concealer. What color do you wear? Liquid foundation? Because if you wear organza, I would say yes, try the Frisky. You saw David Bowie in the 70s. I always feel like the mother hen of all my girls. So this is interesting. It's nice to see some of the older people on here. And I can honestly say our products, by using them and using this natural kind of makeup, makes your skin so much better. 54. You are young. I'm trying to stay young. So what else? Any questions? I will go ahead and make sure I type this up and put it in there in the group for everybody. I'm not baby. I feel that's the weird thing, okay? I was always the baby because I was always the youngest, and now I'm the old person. If I were taffeta liquid, which color of the powder concealer? Taffeta liquid, I would probably do, oh, where'd it go? Either Frivolous or Fabulous. I can't remember which is lighter. I'm looking here, and I think Fabulous is lighter, so I'm going to say Fabulous. I mix a tiny bit of primer with the concealer to apply. Yes, I've done that too. Great. I'm going to try that too. Mixing a little bit of the primer with it. That sounds great. You wear the bisque and the BB cream. Okay. Same age as Iman. She's gorgeous. I hope I look that good. This is kind of my thing. I'm always open to helping. But like I said, don't get so caught up in looking at a picture. I see so many people, and it kind of frustrates me. They'll just put a picture up and they'll say, what color foundation? And my first thing that I say to them in response is, did you ask them the questions? Asking the questions gives you more of an accurate answer, because like I said, I wore the wrong foundation. I wore a light foundation, but I wore velour. The first year I was with Younique, and I didn't even know any better. I thought organza, oh my God, that's really light. But no, it matches so much better, okay? So finding the undertones, personally, I think it's the easiest way to make sure you get a match. And by asking the questions of tanning, you know, if they tan, what color jewelry do they do white or ivory better? And the veins, and what was the other one? Oh, the jewelry. Though, if you ask those questions, your organza, what color mineral concealer? Helen, creepy under eye skin. Okay, hold on, Kathy. I'll get with you in just a second. Okay, organza, what color mineral concealer? Scarlet or organza? Are you talking about this kind? or the liquid or this. You're trying organza tomorrow. Don't be afraid of organza. I love organza. It was a perfect match. And don't be afraid of the frisky. Fresh, I think anybody can wear fresh. That yellow tone of fresh, kind of, it's like, excuse me, I got something just fell in my eye. It's kind of like if you heard a lot of people do the Bill Nye powder, the banana powder. It's more translucent than anything else. The powder one, frisky. If you're organza, try frisky. And if you're mixing it with BB, try bisque or cream, depending on how you do. Good, Nancy, try that. Okay, about crepey skin under here. Well, somebody just put the suggestion of doing, mixing a little bit of primer with our liquid concealer. And they say that's great. If you have, you know, wrinkles and stuff like that under here, if you just use the powder, I think that makes it look cakey. Because you always want to use primer. I don't care what product you're using for foundation, primer. It's a given. I mean, I can get kind of aggressive with my customers and I say, no, you have to get the primer. They don't have a choice. You have to get the primer. And if they don't, I'll send them a sample of the primer and they'll try the primer and then they have to go and order the primer and pay shipping. And I say, see, you should have brought the primer. Okay. What other questions, anybody? I'd be happy to answer. Thank you for Whitney for putting this together. I'm so glad to take part of it. I was so happy to help because, like I said, foundation's kind of my thing and color matching's kind of a big deal to me. I loved Christie's just, you know, previously. Like I said, I tried the BB today and that was great. And also, like I said, Kelly's. Watch Kelly's. Yes. Yes. See, that's the thing. They won't like it without the primer, especially like this. It has nothing to grab onto. Kelly, okay, if you haven't seen Kelly's, I'm just going to tell you this. Go watch Kelly's because Kelly's thing with the splurge, I learned so much today. It was awesome. Between this and putting it here, and honestly, guys, just play. I mean, I'm not telling you to go spend all your money on makeup and stuff like that, but mixing and matching and finding things and doing things different and having multiple ways to use them really makes our product so special. And I believe that you can really talk about the product if you love it and you know more about it. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I have to admit, I was very, very nervous to do this, speak in front of everybody. It made me a little nervous. But thank you very, very much. Do I use moisturizer under my eyes? Yes. Okay, I use the stuff, okay. For moisturizer, what's the BB without primer? Cassie, let me get back to that in a second. Okay, moisturizer under the eyes. Yes, I use our moisturizer, but I use our Uplift Eye Serum all over. During the day, I don't use it on a normal basis, but one thing I do use is the Instant Lift. The Instant Lift I use every day because I have found that by relaxing the muscles, it's not slated to do permanent change, okay? But you put the stuff in it and it relaxes and it makes, you know, it gives you the nice smoothness and it gets rid of those wrinkles. Well, after doing that for a couple days, hi Ashley, after doing that for, you know, not a couple days, but a routine, like a month or so, those muscles have been relaxed. I've noticed differences over time just by using that every day. I know that's not what it's meant for. It's meant for just like a daily thing. But I think by using it daily, it has shown improvement in like long-term improvement. So I absolutely love the hydrating moisturizer. And I use that day and night. I use the Uplift. I've always used the Uplift. the uplift I did one time right here, half of my face, like half of my line here, and it was great because this side like what relaxed, and then I had this, people thought I was crazy. But what I do to show my product, I won't tell somebody about something unless I know and can give an honest, you know, answer. Do I find my makeup goes on streaky, flaky, over the top? Absolutely not. Stacy, no, I do not at all. I also found that if you rub the instant lifting in, one squirt, I learned, because I actually wanted to take a bath in it, okay, just to, because I thought maybe it would just the whole skin and I'd be 23. But I took the instant lift right here, and I do one squirt, and I just gently tap. And I keep tapping until I feel like it absorb. The other, like another company who has the instant ageless stuff, theirs did it. Theirs reminded me of like glue, like a thin layer of glue. Ours doesn't do that. It will get tighter, but I haven't found it, my makeup to go streaky on at all. Now, I don't know if it's just because I have oily skin, but I mean, that's the thing. I don't think there's one set way to do things, guys. I think everybody has different skin and different properties to their skin. And I think that finding the magic solution isn't even always a permanent solution. I think that your skin changes with age, with season, with diet. But that's, you know, that's my personal feeling. But I can help you. I always tell people, you tell me what you need and what your problem is. I will maybe use too much. Probably, I hate to say it, but I think so. One squirt, seriously, one squirt here, and then I'll put a little bit right here. And that's what I like. Like I said, I want to take a bath in it. Figured if it could suction my face, I'd be all kind of happy. So, okay. I hope you guys got everything answered. Please follow, message me. I would be happy to help you anytime. I love matching foundation. I think it's so important to get the right color and the right type. Like I said, it's my thing more than mascara or anything else. So you guys have a great night. I'm sorry it's so late. I hope you, like I said, I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you so much. Have a great night, everybody. Bye.